Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another True You podcast with me, Paula Burns, Creative Confidence and Visibility Mentor. So, this is a place where we have open discussions to understand who we are in order that we can live our lives to the fullest. And every week, I bring on a special guest who is living their version of their true lives. I bring people on from all walks of life, various activities, various professions, but I think it's so important for you as my listeners to be able to hear the varied stories of people who are living a life that they absolutely love and knowing that it's a journey and that you can do exactly the same. So I'm really excited for this podcast because I love this lady. I haven't known her for very long, but we are kindred spirits, I feel like. And so I really hope that you will feel inspired by listening to this conversation, and I know you will. So let's just get straight into it. Let me welcome Lisa Williams.
Oh, do you know what? I'm just so excited for this conversation. We really are kindred spirits, aren't we? We were
We
just like, as soon as we met, it was like that instant connection of like, I know you. You've been in my life all this time.
Oh, and that is really, really a thing, isn't it? That you can meet someone and just know that this is one of my people,
Yeah,
these are my
100%.
people. And I've shared this with other people about, my mum saying about her spirit taking to somebody. My mum used to say, oh, my spirit doesn't take to them, or my spirit takes to them. And that is so true. It is our inner souls, our inner spirits that take to somebody, whether they are our people or not. And you are definitely one of my people. Definitely. So, Lisa, let's just start off by saying, just tell everyone, what is it that you do?
Mm. Well, like yourself, very creative, multi-passionate with things, but the core of everything that I've always done since I was a little girl comes back to creativity. So it's like it's who I am at the core. So as long
Yeah,
as I'm creating something, I know I'm in my happy place.
yeah,
And building community, again, that's something I've done since a little girl. I've always wanted to build and gather community and support, humanity really. So that's who I am at the core. At the moment, as you know,
yeah.
I've gone on this really big journey with rhythm, poetry for your soul, which was guided to me by my gorgeous nanny Peggy, who is my
Oh,
guardian angel. And it's been just the most beautiful process, and every day I wake up with so much gratitude. I've got the book by me now and I'm just like I can't believe that it's like there. It's like it's almost like my baby creation. And
yes. Yeah,
oh
it's a dream that's now a reality. And it's not, because it's not just about dreams, it's actually taking the steps to make those dreams come true, which is what you did. And you drew people in.
yeah, and I think as well this comes back down to like you have such strong faith. It was a faith like logically it wouldn't make sense.
Mm,
I didn't know 111 women. I wasn't necessarily known for poetry, although I've been writing all my life. Um, versus social media, it wasn't necessarily what I was known for. It was this deep inner soul's faith knowing that it was going to work. So logically, I was
mm,
like, oh, I don't know that many people. And my soul was going, just lead the way
yes,
with courage. And it was like Nanny Peggy was putting me in the right rooms,
yes,
you know,
yeah.
guide me. Okay, I'm going to be here. And like sometimes it was really out of my comfort zone. It was like,
Mm,
just be you, just say what it is you want to bring to the world. And like you just said, it's like our souls, our spirits just know. We know if we want to be part of something or, a creation. And here we are.
I know, I know. I mean, I know the story behind that, but can you tell us a little bit more so the listeners know about this? Because I know you've touched on the fact about the book, but
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit more about the background of the book and you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, so for about 2 years, my beautiful Nanny Peggy kept coming through in my dreams. If I was meditating, if I was journaling, it was like whispers. and I kept writing 111 voices, 111 people, gather 111. And I ignored it a little bit. So although I was writing it in my journal, and I was like, I don't know what this
What
actually
it means, what it means.
means. And then one day I'd gone to bed and I wasn't feeling very well. And I don't know if you resonate this, but sometimes I think God, source, universe, however you want to identify, almost sort of puts us on our knees. Um,
Yes,
and it's almost like you have to step back. And it was in that being poorly and stepping back that then the guidance was like, whoosh, this is
absolutely.
what it is. It's
Yeah.
111 women writing poetry. And I literally just shot out of bed, got on my phone. I didn't have a clue about how this was going to happen. And I went calling in 111 women for a poetry book. That's all I did. There was no anything else. You know, who's interested? And straight away, that was almost like the beginning of
Yeah.
this creation, because I just
Yeah.
took that inspired action, because it just was like, oh, this is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because and you saying that, yeah, for me it's God. It's like sort of like getting you in that quiet place, bringing you down on your knees, as you say, because you've got to stop from all of the other noise to be able to hear. And one of my favorite songs, I know growing up, in church, we used to sing a song and it used to say, "Be still and know that I am God." And it was just such a really strong song because it was just be still, because that's when you hear the message, just be still. And I say this over and over again, to clients, to people that I work with. It's like, how still are you to hear, whether you believe or not?
Mm-hmm.
How still are you? Are you giving yourself that stillness to hear your next step?
100%,
And
100%. Yeah.
that's what you did. You heard and you did. So it's not just hearing it, it's actually hearing it and let's go. Let's
And
do it.
following that action call.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Lisa, I want to take you back to your childhood. I want to find out a little bit of little Lisa. Because I can almost imagine you as little Lisa, and I just want to find out more about what your childhood was like, what your journey was like, getting you to this place that you are right now. Again, I explain this to anybody who's sort of listening to my podcast for the first time. I love this question because I feel like we are always linked in some way to what we're doing now, to how we were when we were a child. I think the core of us started when we were a child. And we get lost sometimes and get caught up in lots of different things, but then eventually we come back to that place, which is that core, like you've talked about. So tell us about little Lisa.
Oh, it's not happy. It's not a happy childhood. I don't know how deep I can go, but yeah, it was based around a lot of physical and mental fear. Um, and and I think in you saying that, it's almost like, ooh, it's like pennies dropped, and I get almost
Mm,
um the creativity side. I am going to cry. The creative side of me was in a way escapism from my unfortunate reality.
yeah.
uh, so music and dance and imagination, and being surrounded by fairies and talking to spirit, if you will, like that kept me alive in the
Mm,
darker moments. So I think a lot of people who've come across me would be quite shocked to
yeah.
know my past. So yeah, it was very physically and mentally violent until I was about 21. Um, and again in school, I had the same. So it was like I had no escape really. So home was the same and school was the same. And the only grace period I had was, I remember I used to get really bullied on the school bus, and when I get off the school bus, it was just going down a hill back to my home, and it was like a 2 minute hill, and that 2 minutes every day was literally my only peace really, because I
Yeah.
never knew what I was going to experience, coming back home. So
Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't great. But I did have my beautiful nanny Peggy and my grandpa as well, who I lived back and forth with a lot when, let's just say, mum was upheavaling
Yes,
after,
yeah.
a lot of DV and situations. So I was very fortunate actually to have them, because that also was my safe space, and I could really be little Lisa then. I could be the performer, and my nanny had
Mm.
these velvet curtains, and I would put on shows, and
Oh,
I'd say like,
little
well,
stage.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
I'd make them all sit down and watch, and I could do that there. I felt, because I was allowed to be a child, and
yeah.
I'd have them all sitting down and watching my performances.
Yes, yeah. Do you know what? The fact that you said, it wasn't an overly happy childhood, but you also can see where, because that's where your creativity came from. And it's because you use that as your cloak to
Hmm.
keep you safe. And it is, again, when we think back, that's again why I love having these kinds of conversations. The reason why we are the core of who we are usually is because of our circumstances, and whether that's a happy one, what we would call a happy one, or it's one that is more difficult or challenging, um, that core is still created in that time. It's still created in that time. And I also feel that your core was there anyway,
Hmm.
you know, because you could have used any other cloak to get you through it, couldn't you?
Oh,
But
100.
your cloak of creativity was there already inside you. You carried it inside you, and it was there for you when you actually needed it. So
I
I,
think
I
just
yeah,
being such an empath to others. So, when you think about like reading energy, for me it's like I can feel when someone is really happy or sad, or they feel they don't belong, and I've always wanted to kind of scoop everyone up and say, welcome,
yes,
and I think that's where the community building aspect comes in, that it doesn't matter about your past, your present, or what you're looking to the future. Like let's all be together now, and like, just, yeah, I just always really dreamt of like creating a world where there was just peace and harmony, and I still do. I still want to believe that that's possible.
and this one of the first things I recognized about you when I met you is the warmth. I just felt your warmth, and you could tell that you were a people person, and you just wanted to draw people close, and that's absolutely obvious. It's so obvious about you. Um, did you did you feel like, so when you were sort of grew up and as a teenager, what sort of jobs did you do? So, because obviously now you're doing what you do, but what
Yeah,
did you do throughout the years? Just so, what were the stepping stones?
yeah. Well, I always thought I was going to be famous.
We all did.
Like, I remember saying to my school teachers, like, I don't need to get these grades for this. I'm going to be like almost like the Welsh Britney Spears. That's what I
Yeah.
thought I was going to be. But obviously, there was other guidance there. But yeah, so job wise, oh my goodness, I did so many things. Mostly, I think I did catering, hospitality. I worked in retail. Um,
Yeah.
worked washing the dishes. I think but the main one that I did then was I turned to work in a school. But yeah, my teenage years were quite wild. I had also my ex was also very violent, so I kind of followed suit of, like, he was very much like my dad, and then I just,
Yeah, yeah, it follows through, doesn't it?
so I was with him from 14 to 20, and I was still home with my dad, so it was a lot going on there.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but my shortest job that I ever had, I think, lasted about half an hour, because I didn't like the uniform. Yeah, so I did lots of different things, but I think it really built character.
Yes.
I did lots of job hopping, um, office work, all of the things.
Yeah, yeah. But I think as well, because it's that creative streakiness that we have to have the variety.
Yeah,
I think, I'm like that with life. I'm like, I need to have the variation in my life. I can't be doing the same thing all the time. It just gets boring because we're creative people.
yeah, yeah.
So, and I feel like, you know sometimes people beat themselves up about the fact, oh, I never really settled in anything, but that's because you're creative,
A
you know?
hundred. Yeah, I mean, I worked in a school which I loved for a few years, working with SEN children. And that actually was from working with those children for a few years. And they taught me more than I taught them.
Oh,
Honestly, they really did. But it was in that moment that I was like, I want to blend. Again, it was like, how can I bring dance back into my life again? Because I was really missing it at that point. And I really love being with children. Um,
yeah.
and that's when my dance school was born because I was like, I want to fuse the both together.
Okay, dance school. Okay, tell us about the dance school.
Yeah. So I qualified as a dance teacher and I didn't do anything with it. And I was doing little bits of like community dance and things like that. At that point, I still thought, someone's going to knock on my door. They don't even know who I am. I'm going to go, do you want to be famous? And I'd be like, yes, I do. But you know what I mean? That didn't happen.
Well,
Um, but I knew again it was that building a community and that empathy for children to express themselves. I'd worked in a school setting where I knew so many of them were told to sort of sit still and this is how the rules are, and I was like, oh, I just want to give them a space to
yeah,
again just be themselves, be larger than life,
yeah.
have the confidence. And it's not about if they wanted to be a performer. It was really inclusive. It was almost just like it wasn't an elite dance studio. It was just everyone is welcome. Everyone
Mm,
is welcome. And oh my goodness, most of the children stayed with me since they were 4 years old till they were 19. And I mean, it was just beautiful. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so the dance school started. 20 years I had that. And then obviously COVID happened. And that was my transition to stepping away from that, which,
Right.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness. So how long was the dance school running for?
20 years.
20.
Yeah,
So that was a key area of your life,
100%. Yeah.
the area of your life.
Mhm.
My goodness. Um, okay, so you were at the dance school and then COVID changed everything, and then you sort of like, looked at what your next steps would be. Was there a time when you felt like you lost your way?
Yeah. Yes. So I still had the dance school. I was a mum, I was a wife. I on paper looked like I had everything. I was
Mm, it
very
always does.
yeah. I was very smiley, everyone knew me as, kind, happy, smiley. Um, but in 2017 I hit my rock bottom because I think when you're building community and you care so deeply, and
Mm,
the past trauma that I'd had, I did become a people pleaser to my
yeah.
detriment. It really tore away chip by chip, moment by moment. I said yes, I was almost on call 24 hours, 7 days a week for anyone. I mean, I
Mm,
would just drop everything for anybody, no matter how they treated me as well. So yeah, it was 2017, and yeah, I didn't want to be here anymore. That was my like I wanted out.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it was very exhausting. I still was showing up to the dance school full of smile. No one would have known, like nobody.
No.
Even my husband didn't know. Nobody knew. Um, but I was having these intrusive thoughts. I just don't want to be here anymore. So it was October 2017. I wrote my goodbye farewell note.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. My husband had asked me, he said, you need to go and get support, you need to go to the doctor. And the story there goes, and this is where Nanny Peggy really comes back, is that it was the day I went to the doctors in October 2017. And I remember leaving there and I was crying so much. It was really overcast. It was October. I was ugly crying and I was thinking, I hope that none of my dance students see me. I just need to get home. I just need to get home because I'd actually said the words like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I had to keep stopping, wiping my eyes, wiping my eyes. And then, when the cloud breaks and then the sun beams down and it's like a spotlight.
Yeah.
And I just heard a whisper, keep going. And I knew it was Nanny. And she's been with me ever since. Oh gosh, and God,
Oh,
she's
got
been with
tissues close by, because I
me.
can feel the emotion.
Yeah, I think, I've said this story so many times, but maybe
Yeah,
you're just such a gentle soul holding this space for me, so thank
yeah.
you. But yeah, it was a catalyst moment of like, okay. And then it was the week later we'd gone to Cardiff Museum. So my daughter at the time was 9, and you know, the gift shop is like the best thing ever. You can take them in,
Yes.
and she wanted these crystals, and I didn't understand the meaning of crystals. I didn't know that my nanny had a couple and whatnot. And I picked a rose quartz. So for anyone who loves crystals, I picked a
Mhm.
rose quartz, and I didn't know why I had it. I was like, I meant to bring this stone, this rose quartz with me. And when I researched it, and it was about unconditional love, so I
Yeah.
slept with that crystal under my pillow for quite a few months and just really came back to myself. And I found that that crystal became so many other things since,
Yeah.
you know, books, mentors, songs, meditation, all of these different things. And, you know, it's almost like when the student is ready, you know, and
Yes.
oh, this is happening, what's this? And just, do you know what? Again, like childhood curiosity came back over me. I was just curious
Mm.
about life again.
Yeah. It was like the catalyst that sort of like you were reborn
Yeah.
from that moment, and you were reborn to your next stage of life.
Mhm.
And, just the thought that we wouldn't have this beautiful Lisa with us today is just heartbreaking. But but the fact that you went through those moments and those times has brought you to this place. And, we appreciate you.
Thank
We
you.
totally appreciate you.
Mm, gosh, yeah.
Right. Lisa, throughout your life, has there been, I know we've talked about the difficult thing, a difficult time for you,
Mhm.
but has there been times when you wanted to make decisions about things and it was quite scary to do it? Especially when we talk about us being creative people, and people who come out with weird and wonderful things that no one else seems to get. They're just looking at us thinking, what are you talking about? So, how scary has any of those times been for you where you thought, okay, can I do this? Or I'm not sure, maybe I should just leave it, blah, blah, blah. Or people around you may have said that because, we've got our own negative voices, but then there's people around us who say, you're crazy. Don't
Yeah,
do that. Don't whatever. Have you had situations like that? Or have you just always had like people supporting you around you?
yeah. I've not really had the support from anybody as such. I think the scariest bit for me was closing the dance school because it was all I ever really knew for nearly 2 decades of my life.
Mm,
Um, and we'd gone back when we were allowed to sort of socially distance a little bit. And there was this, again, it was an inner knowing that this is it. And it was so, oh gosh, it was so emotional because I didn't get to put on that final show. You know,
yeah,
had I had my way, we would have at least gone out on a high.
yeah, big bang.
And we didn't have that last performance. So there's been a little bit of sadness and grief there over the years of that, of not having that final, like, let's just go all out.
Can
And
you do a reunion? Can you do a reunion show?
do you know what? Probably not now. I think so many of the children have gone their own ways. Some of them have even had families or gone to
Yeah,
dance schools and things like that. But yeah, I think that was the only real sad bit.
yeah.
I think during that process, though, when I didn't have anything to go, I didn't have another business, I didn't have a job, I found this like almost wave and wash over me of peace. I
Yeah.
felt quite peaceful about it. It was a strange feeling. I don't know if ever you felt that. Like you don't know
Mm.
what you're doing. You've got no finances coming in.
Yeah.
Your creativity is a bit blocked, but you just feel like it's all
Yeah.
it's all good. And I remember my husband, he was like really stressed out about, work and as a lot of people were, and I'm going to lose my job. And I was just in the garden, just like, we had a lovely summer, and I was like, it's all
Living life.
good. Just living life. I think that taught me and many others, like, that I do want a bit more peace.
Yes,
Because the dance school, as beautiful as it was, I mean, I was in the studio all the
I
time.
bet.
And when I
Yeah.
was in the studio, I was creating choreography, I was mixing music, I was ordering costumes, I was booking theatres, I was having tech discussions. We were then doing exams and competition. It was just full
Just all
on.
the time. Yeah.
So I think actually what it taught me was that I do desire a lot of downtime for creativity. And I love listening to the birds singing in the garden and
Yes.
just going a
The
little bit.
simple things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get that. I think many people came to that realization over COVID when we had that downtime, when we were forced to
Mm.
be still, when we were forced to have that downtime. And I totally relate to that, what you're saying about, having that crazy busy life before and then just feeling so peaceful and relaxed. And I was exactly the same. The year before COVID, I was just manic with weddings. I had so many weddings and events. For people who are listening, my background is events and special events, and I was working on so many different things. 1 month I had about 15, 16 weddings on the go. I was managing, I know, crazy. But yeah, when COVID hit, I was like, that was my sort of like catalyst to just say, right, I need the change. I
Mm.
can't keep going like this. It's crazy. And I love the downtime
Yeah.
and you're absolutely right. As creative people,
Mhm.
we need that downtime to create
Mhm.
because we can't create if we keep doing.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you find that when you're always doing and you're always busy, do you feel really frustrated? Sometimes I feel really frustrated. I'm like,
100%. I mean, I have since closing the dance school and then having the sort of almost like 6 to 12 months of being quite peaceful, and then
yeah,
I went all back in again. So I was human doing like nobody's business, right?
yeah,
I was, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do the other. I was on every networking call when we were on Zoom. I mean, I had Zoom fatigue. I was here, I was post on social media, do this, do that. I was investing in coaches and mentors and
yeah,
spending money I didn't have. And I was like, I remember my daughter was like, breathe. And I was like, no, I'm on another Zoom call. No, I'm on another Zoom call. And it just went a little bit crazy for a little
yeah,
while. And I was like, for now, where I am now is like, right. For me, I feel like I've laid the foundations. I know who I am now.
yes,
I really, and that's taken me probably until about the end of last year to go, I know who Lisa is. Like, I don't need, it's not a proving, it's not a performative. Sometimes I'm all in and sometimes I'm all out, and
yeah,
it's just who I am at the
yeah.
core. I need a lot of peace. I need a lot of, like you said, downtime for creativity. I need rest.
Mm,
I also love to be around people, so it's finding that sort of beautiful balance.
balance, finding the balance. Yeah. And knowing who you are is the key. You've knocked the nail on the head there. It's because sometimes we are going through different circumstances in life, and it's so easy for us to beat ourselves up, saying, oh, well, I should be doing this or I should be doing that, or, why am I sitting down now? I should be getting into this. I should be. But like you said, there's so many different facets to you. You love people, you love your downtime, you love your peace, you love your creativity, you love laughter and happiness and community. And so we are different facets, you're not just one person. And so when you get to the point where you're maybe living one bit of who you are, enjoy it,
Yeah.
feel it, feel that space of who you are. But first of all, as you said, and for anyone who's listening, this is such a key message. You have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that work to understand who you are, because otherwise you will continually fall into that loop and that spiral of being somewhere and thinking, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing this, I should be doing whatever. The only place that you can have peace is when you know who you are. And as you live through whatever parts, because some people might only have two parts of them, they just love downtime, and maybe they love a bit of creativity, but they love downtime, but they're not really a big people person. Fine. But if you know what you are or who you are, then you can start to create that life for yourself,
Yeah.
that means something.
It's being in tune, isn't it, with like your mind, your body, and your soul.
Mm.
Knowing, like just that inner knowing that just because everyone's, really having great time over here and apparently it's the place to be, if you know that, it's not for
No,
me, it's
no,
not, I don't love those people or I don't think it's fab. I cheerlead everybody.
I mean, yeah.
And it's even more fabulous now when you get to cheerlead everyone on social media when you're just in your pajamas and they're having a ball and you're like, go you! Yeah.
I'm really relaxed about you. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes absolute sense. It makes absolute sense. Lisa, I love chatting to you. It's just such a lovely, I don't know, the space that I share with you is such a lovely space. But we're going to bring things to a close, but I've got some quick fire questions for you. You can throw in a little bit of context, that's absolutely fine. But I always end the podcast with these questions. So let's kick it off with the first one. Do you understand what makes you truly happy? I've got a feeling you know.
Yes, now I do 100%.
And what is it?
It is that inner peace.
Yeah,
It's knowing who I am without having to people please or be anything for anybody else. It's just I'm really love who I am. I can actually look in the mirror now and say, I'm still working on a few aspects of self-love, but I can actually say, I'm good, girl. Like, you're
yeah,
good,
yeah.
and I know I'm a good person. Um, and that's it. I just feel just peaceful being myself. So yeah.
Love it. Um, how are you with getting still to feel emotion?
Oh gosh, good. Really
I'd
maybe too good.
agree. I'd agree.
Thing is when you stop, it's getting started again, isn't it? Yeah. No, I mean I don't feel guilty for rest or being still. I know that I need it. My soul craves it. My body craves it. My family crave it as well. For me to actually stop a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you found your tribe?
I'm definitely getting there. And I think that takes, because I know who I am, I'm
Yes.
likely to find my people. You're one of my people, just someone that I can be myself with.
Yeah.
You might not see me for months and then you'll see me all the time. And that
Yeah.
understanding as well, the ebbs and flows of life.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And some people say I have different tribes. So but I feel the best tribes are ones that intertwine. Those are the best tribes, aren't they? And finally, do you love yourself unconditionally?
I, I love my soul. I love my soul. I love who I am. I think there's aspects of being a woman that I'm still working on. I'm a work in progress. But
Okay. And we're all a work in progress,
yeah,
honestly. And I think I love the fact that you said, I love my soul, because that's the depth of your being and who you are. And as we develop every single day and we continue to develop every single day, it's loving that side of us that is learning, that is growing, that is being. So, yeah, I love that.
mm,
Lisa, thank you so, so much for being on my podcast. It's been the most amazing conversation. I've loved it. I've loved every minute. And I hope that all my listeners, you have been touched by, some of the things we've talked about, Lisa's story. Lisa, where can people find you if they want to connect with you? Where's the best place to find you online?
Facebook is my main one,
Mm,
but if you put in Spiritual Sisters Collective, I will probably pop up in a few
okay,
places.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And I will share your links with the podcast anyway, but I just wanted to mention that on the podcast. Well, thank you so much again. Thank you for being in my life and for entering my life and for being in my life. And thank you to everyone who has listened today. I will be back with another podcast, another True You podcast next week. But in the meantime, keep being the true you. Bye, everyone.